Okay, so what do you do if you're coming out of the woods, let's say, onto a field, and there's a dog running free on the field, and you have a puppy? You want to make sure that the introduction goes well and that you're in control of it. But do you have a plan of action? This video should be able to help you with that. We did not plan for this to happen at all, but I just want to show you guys another way to introduce dogs. So, Sol and I, along with Frank, we were shooting some videos, and we were in the woods. We were coming back from trying to get Sol to swim, although it might have been a little cold for him. But anyway, we're coming back out onto the field. As we were walking out, I sensed that there was somebody on the field and that there was a dog on the field. So what I did is I called my pup back to me. I didn't put him on the leash because he was staying with me. And of course, at this age, whenever there's anything that makes him nervous, he comes and he looks for me at that stage of development. She's friendly? Okay. Yeah, the first question that I ask him is your dog friendly? Because you never know. Right? That's the first thing I ask. I want to see, and not only am I looking at the dog, I'm also looking at the owner to see how relaxed they are with their body language. So I'm watching both those things, regardless of what the owner says. I'm watching those things and taking that information in. I'm watching the dog and their body language and taking that information in too. Basically, I'm announcing myself. Hey, I'm here. Is your dog friendly? I have a dog with me, that kind of thing. As soon as he says the dog is friendly and I can see that he's not going to call her back, I kneel to the ground. And my dog, Sol, he runs behind me, right, as she's approaching. Right, so he's looking to me for protection. I make sure I make contact with her first, with the dog first. At that position, I'm able to block. I'm able to do things to keep her from getting in onto him or anything like that. If I need to defend him, I'm there, ready to defend. When my dog gets older, my behaviors change a little bit. Right? But for a puppy, this is the way I go about it. For my puppy on that day, that's the way that I thought would be best. So she comes up, I'm down low, the puppet's down low, they meet. You can see Sol is continuing to hide, stick close to me and actually tucking himself in, at different spots to be protected. And that's fine. I know my dog, I know how he kind of behaves in that situation, and his behavior was completely normal. Sol gets ran over. Puppies always get ran over, either by other puppies or by older dogs. It's something that they all have to deal with. They all get spun. I haven't met a puppy yet that hasn't been flipped. So it's just play, The dog didn't even slow down, just rolled him over and kept running and then came back. If you look at Sol's body position, tail position and all that, you can see he's a little bit nervous about it, and he runs to, of course, a person. I have to work on Sol with what he does, because I want, when he's uncomfortable, that he doesn't run to any person. I want him to come run to me. Right? I don't want him to look for protection from strangers. Just took him swimming. Yeah, no, I actually had to throw the stick and be like, go in. I was trying to get him to do it. So we see more, Sol runs to Frank, gets underneath him. All of this is just protection. He's looking for people to be like, hey, in case this dog acts weird, you're gonna be there to help me, right? That little whistle, two-tone whistle you heard, that's one of my many recalls for Sol, and you can see my little puppy, I call him, he comes. That is a stage of development also. He's about to enter into another stage of development, stage of independence. I'm already seeing some signs of that, where I'll tell him to go into the crate and he'll kind of stall, look, think, look, think, look, think, and then he'll go in. Other little things like tell him to go inside, go up the stairs, he'll stall, he'll look. Usually it's telling him where to go. Recall is still pretty good, but I expect any day now, I'm gonna call him and he's gonna look around and be like, do I have to? Because that's normal for a dog development. Of course, I'm assessing as we go as to what needs to happen. Yeah. No, this is fine. This is fine if it's fine for you. Of course, we'll talk to make sure. We're actually pretty done now anyway. But I'm Martin, by the way. How you doing? I'm Martin.
Martin?
Yes, Martin Wright from Argos Dog Training.
Okay,
Yeah. All right, at this point, I introduced myself to the person who I never met before. And then, he says some things. He knows me, he heard of me through another client. I'm really actually pretty happy with the fact that Soul sticks next to Frank as I'm talking to this guy. They're gonna be around each other probably for a while. And it's good that he gets to know his Uncle Frank. Okay, so that's pretty much the whole thing. One of the biggest things that I'm always concerned about with my own clients and with the way that people introduce dogs, in my opinion, most people introduce dogs right into a combat sport. And what do I mean by that? All the games that dogs play are hunting games, every game. So if the dog is being chased, it's playing the role of being prey, it's running away. If the dog is chasing, it's playing the role of being predator. Even when they wrestle, one dog will get on the bottom, one dog will get on the top, and you'll see them switch back and forth. With like healthy dogs that know how to play and play well together, you'll see that they switch. Like you get to play predator, I get to play prey, you get to be on offense, I get to be on defense, and they switch back and forth. The thing is that most people, when they introduce dogs, they do it, at least around here, what I see is they bring the dog to somewhere, a dog park or something like that. They let the dog off the leash and they immediately go into this play with another dog. For me, the best way to introduce two dogs that are going to play together is to introduce them first when they are calm. And then usually the introductions are a lot slower. It starts a lot more normal. Instead of dogs just rushing together and then they will sniff and then they immediately go into chase. They immediately go into something else where it's like a combat. When I do it this way, what happens is we're sitting around, the dogs are calm, we just unhook the leashes quietly. We don't tell them anything, we don't get them excited, we don't go say hi or nothing like that. We just unhook the leashes. And then eventually one of the dogs will get up, will sniff around, the other dog will see, they'll get up. They're just a lot slower pace. And they usually will sniff each other, they sniff around. Also the dogs that I introduce my dogs to generally understand the house is not the place for high level interactive play. But anyway, if you're in the field, this is what I recommend with a puppy. Get down low, catch the dog when it comes, check out your dog, make sure you're there to interact, and then go from there. The biggest mistake I see though is that people introduce dogs to strange dogs in dog parks. That's one of the biggest mistakes I ever see. There's a lot of dogs there. It's not like it's a one-on-one meeting most of the time. And the dogs already have a history of the location, of what goes on in the location. The biggest thing is that it goes into combat sports. Now, if you play combat sports, you know that with good training, you don't get angry. But without good training, it's easy to get angry and to start to, do things that you shouldn't be doing when you're playing sports. It could change from a sport to a fight pretty easily. You could ask my brothers about that because, I grew up with boys. But it goes real quick from we're playing around and then somebody accidentally catches somebody with an elbow in the side of the neck and now we're fighting, and that's the way it goes. Dogs can be the same thing. Now what happens is that the fight would happen in the dog park and people will break up the fight and then they'll rush their dogs out of the dog park. So the last thing the dog remembers is like, I was in a fight in this park. When the person brings the dog back to the dog park, they're ready to start that fight up again. Right? Which is another huge mistake. It's something we should talk about in a whole complete different video. But there's a lot of things that go into that. Dog parks can make you change your life. I've had clients who dog parks, an incident in the dog park, introducing dogs incorrectly, affected where they could live. All right? So that's things to keep in mind as you go along. There's another video that might interest you as you're watching this. It is a puppy kindergarten video we made. I forgot the name of it, but it's something about what to do if a dog plays too rough or if your puppy's playing too rough. Definitely check that out. There will be a link somewhere around here for that. All right, so if the roles were kind of reversed, this guy was coming out of the woods with his dog, and I had the older dog, the trained dog. At that stage, 2 years old, I think he said this dog's gonna be well trained at 2 years old. And somebody's coming out of the woods with a puppy. What would I do? I call my dog back to me, 100%. I call my dog back, dog gets to me, I put him in a down, and I see what the person wants to do. If they talk to me, hey, is your dog friendly, da-da-da-da-da, I have a puppy, da-da-da-da, then I can decide if I want them to meet. If the person has an older dog and the dog starts rushing to my dog, I will call my dog back to me. I have my dog in a down, and I will intercept that dog before it gets to my dog, right? I will get, if I need to, I'll get down the same exact way. I'll get right in between, and you're not getting to my dog unless you come in through me. And I want my dog to know that. I want Soul to know that, that dogs just don't approach him. I will not allow it. That way, any defense that he needs, he knows I got it, right? He doesn't have to become defensive. He doesn't have to snap. He doesn't have to growl. He doesn't have to do any of that stuff. I'm gonna be in between every single time. And I want him to know that, right? And I will be. So that's how that kind of works. I see a lot of my friends, they use vests and things like that, but to tell you the truth, Soul was born knowing how to swim. He might not know it, but he was. Of course, as I throw these in, there's times he doesn't like to get his back covered with water yet. Good boy. Look at you. Look at you. Good job, little champ. Whoa, where you going?